Teachers who regularly get invited to high school reunions, what are the most amazing transformations, common patterns, epic stories, saddest declines, etc. you've seen through the years? Not a teacher but as a graduate from high school in a meth-addled city in the South, actually featured on a list. Placing 1 for most addicted city in Georgia. I can say that everyone who was successful left and stayed gone. According to the Facebook event page, like 10 people went. Possibly related who pays $60 ticket to hang out in a school gymnasium for their 10-year reunion. Here, we're number 10 in this alphabetical list of most addicted counties by state. Not a teacher, but interesting nonetheless. The valedictorian of my graduating class lost his full ride to state college after 2 quarters because of drinking and drugs. He grew up in a protected and very strict household. Once he left and got exposed to the temptations of life, he didn't know how to handle it. Last I heard he's working odd jobs, and is bumming around our hometown. Not a teacher, but a girl I used to be interested in since elementary school. We were really close friends. I'd even work for her dad when I was a kid, stuffing envelopes for him to send out to his clients, just basic stuff that he offered us 10 cents per envelope to be a nice guy. In high school, we drifted a little bit apart, and she started dating another friend of mine who shortly after noped out of that relationship because she wanted him to make her pregnant. Fast forward a couple years after graduation, she did have children, who she then suffocated when they were 3 years old and 22 months old. Sentenced to over 40 years in jail. She was smart, pretty, and charming, and now she might never see the outside world again. Needless to say, she didn't make it to the 10-year reunion. Former student who was a decent kid who tried, just not the brightest. Graduated, got a job at Whataburger. Got fired because he kept showing up late. His manager was his mom. 8 of my 438 student graduating class, 2009, have passed from opioid overdose. The reunion is this July. Not a teacher, but there was a guy who was the stereotypical jock in high school. Very unemotional, stoic, etc. Then he went into the military and got PTSD. Now he is a hippie and psychotherapist. The dumb fucks that graduated my year of 2001 tried to organize our 10-year reunion in 2010. Not a teacher, but I went to my 10-year reunion. Back in high school we had a kid who was Asperger's and was a little weird. He was, however, amazing at the yo-yo, having picked one up during middle school when we had that yo-yo trick assembly. After everyone else had stopped walking the dog in 8th grade, this guy was doing more and more elaborate tricks every day during lunch. He was bullied and teased, but he continued doing what he loved. So, at our 10-year reunion, people from every strata of high school popularity was there, including this guy. He was his same old self, but more confident. I asked him if he still yo-yos, and he busted out his custom-made titanium yo-yo that he said he made on a CNC lathe. He then starts to do some tricks and a large crowd gathered around. It was quite the show. He had gotten very good. When he finished, people clapped and cheered, and even the jockiest dudes from back in the day fist bumped him and told him how badass he was. The most amazing transformation was everyone else. Nobody teased him for being who he was anymore, they now admired him for being so passionate about something. Do teachers get to go to high school reunions? That seems like a recipe for finding out if the English teacher really did have a dolphin tramp stamp. Edit: apparently teachers are invited. Neat. I'm really hoping for a Kevin update one of these days. In high school I was pretty good friends with a guy that was a bit overweight, about 6 feet 4 inches, really smart and a bit nerdy. Lost track of him after high school but saw him at our 10-year reunion. He was the talk of the reunion. Still tall, lost all the weight and was in great shape, had long hair like Fabio and was a doctor. He showed up with a beautiful wife. He gave us his contact info and invited us to Atlanta to stay with him in his huge house. After the reunion I tried to get in touch. Contact info didn't work, and through some sleuthing I found out he was neither married nor a doctor. He was still in good shape, can't fake that, but faked everything else. I didn't go to my 20th, but saw the list of dead people. I tried to look them up in my yearbook, but shockingly, every single one of the 7 to 8 people were in the no picture section, which was maybe 5% of the class. So either the yearbook cast a curse, or there's some correlation between not being able, not wanting to take a yearbook picture and dying young. I have a few. One guy was this star pupil. Smart, handsome, athletic, everything. Dating the head cheerleader. Some Hallmark movie shit. They leave, go off to college and nobody thinks it'll go wrong. Come 10 years later, she divorced him, Was given the house his late grandfather built in the divorce, and lived there with her new lover while he was in a hotel. 10-year reunion happens, he's deathly skinny and depressed. Sees the school, remembers the memories he had, goes home after reunion and kills himself, leaving behind 2 little girls. His ex got chased out of the community last year. Death threats against her and her lover. She's trying to get in contact with people now because the lover took her money and fled back to the Philippines and she's homeless now.